everybody. How you doing today? If your marriage could speak to you, what do you think it would say? Hi, my name is Kelly. I'm a pastor, police chaplain, marriage coach, and the author of this book. Oh, turn it around. There it is. Turn it up, How to Have the Lifelong Marriage That You Really Want. And I am excited to share this thought with you here today. And basically the idea is this. Did you know that when you got married, okay, when you and your spouse shared your wedding vows on your wedding day, did you know that something was birthed? Yeah, something was born that day and it's alive. Even though you can't see it, it is a living entity and it's called your marriage. And because it's living, it has needs. Just like all of us, we have needs and we have wants. And so I want to talk to you for a few minutes today and encourage you to ask yourself this question. What does my marriage want? Okay, if your marriage could speak to you today, what would it ask for? What are its needs? What does it want? You see, for it to be healthy, it's got to grow. And for it to grow, there are some things it needs and it wants. So here's a few examples of maybe some of the things your marriage could need and want. Let me read them to you. I wrote them down and I got them on my notes here. Number one, maybe it needs food. Just like all of us, we need food in order to live. Well, what kind of food feeds a marriage? What kind of food helps it grow strong? Well, it's usually ideas and information. Or, in other words, you learn new things. You learn how to communicate. You learn how to solve problems together. You learn how to meet your needs. You learn how to ask for what you want. And so that is a great way to feed your marriage. Maybe another thing it needs is time. That's another way to help it grow strong, is to give it time. Time with each other, okay? Time spent together. Maybe it's on a little short weekend getaway. Maybe it's just a date night every week. Maybe it's spending a day off together. Whatever, it needs time. Maybe it's asking for time today. Number three, how about this one? What does your marriage need or want? Maybe it wants you to get some help so that there can be some healing of past hurts. Yeah, so healing of past hurts is all about talking them over, deciding what happened, and dealing with it so that the healing can come, so that the connection can be restored. Maybe it's number four, maybe it's better communication. That what my marriage wants and needs is that we communicate better. I don't know if you're in the habit of this, but I talk to some couples in my coaching ministry that when they get angry at each other, they actually shut down and they stop communicating. They stop talking. Now, that's not healthy, but maybe you guys are just continuing to have disagreements and misunderstandings and arguments. And I hear this a lot when I ask people, what's a big challenge that you're facing? They say, we need to communicate better. So maybe that's what your marriage is asking for, better communication. Maybe there's a problem area, number five, maybe there's a problem area or source of friction that needs to be resolved. So what do I mean by this? What does your marriage want? Well, there could be just something in your relationship or in your marriage that you keep bumping into over and over again. You keep hitting this one little area of challenge, okay? Maybe it's, a bad habit that your spouse has, that he leaves his shoes in the middle of the floor. And it's like, I ask him, but I keep tripping over those shoes in the middle of the night. So that's literally something that you're going to, that's going to trip you up, let's say, no pun intended. Anyways, what is a problem area or source of friction that needs to be resolved? Maybe number six, there's an apology that needs to be made. Okay, what does your marriage want? Your marriage wants one of you to apologize. If you've done something that has hurt the feelings or hurt the other person in your marriage, your spouse, so you need to apologize. You need to go back and clean that up. And you know what I'm talking about. You said something, you did something, you acted out of selfishness or being inconsiderate, you forgot something, and you just kind of continued on and you hope your wife or your husband wouldn't notice it. But you know what? They have. And it is there there and it's going to be toxic in your relationship. So go back and clean that up. Just go and say, hey, would you forgive me for this, and apologize and say, I'm sorry. Number 7, maybe forgiveness needs to be given. What does your marriage want? Maybe your marriage wants you to forgive each other. Number 8, maybe your marriage wants intimacy. Now, intimacy, by the way, and I could do a whole lesson on this, and maybe I will next week, is both physical, but it's also emotional. So it's sharing your heart, sharing the physical body in terms of sex if you're married, and or when you're married. That is absolutely something that God wants you to participate in and enjoy. And but there's an emotional intimacy as well that comes by being vulnerable and opening up. So maybe your marriage wants more intimacy. Number 9, maybe it's something specific that is missing. And I don't know exactly what that is, so I can't really give you an example, but maybe there's something in your marriage that's missing. So address that. Ask for what you need. And maybe number 10, maybe your marriage is asking for some fun. So here's my challenge to you as I wrap this up today. Take some time today and maybe get out a piece of paper or a journal, or get your computer open, or your laptop, or your notebook, or whatever you want to write on, and pretend that you are your marriage. I don't know if that was good English. Pretend that you are your marriage. And so if I was my marriage, what would I want? What do I need? And then write those things down, okay? Then do something about it. And before I leave, let me give you 2 great scriptures that talk about what God did for us. The first one, of probably the most popular verse in the Bible, is John 3:16, which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." And then Romans 5:8 is another amazing verse that says this, "But God demonstrated his own love for us in this, in that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us." So you see, God didn't just say, "I love you." He did something about it. And if you love your husband or your wife, think about what your marriage needs and then do something. Take action, give, love, serve, and then watch how God is going to heal and bless and strengthen the marriage that you created the day you got married. All right, so take care of your marriage, nourish it, and give it what it needs and wants. And I know that you will have a much stronger connection and a much stronger marriage as a result. That's the word I'm looking for. As a result of that. All right. Well, God bless you. By the way, if you don't know what to do to strengthen your marriage or to give your marriage what you want, go to my website, which is turnitup.coach. And there you can buy a copy of my book, which will give you all kinds of ideas. Also, you can book a free, and I'm starting to use the word roadmap call. A lot of couples I talk to, when they first come to me, they don't know what to do. They're lost. They feel like they're driving in circles. They're spending lots of time and money, and nothing seems to be working. So we have what I call a roadmap call, or a clarity call, to give them some direction and an action plan, so that way they can move forward and get the help that they need and resolve the issues in their marriage and get back on track and really, see God's best come into their lives. So you can book a free roadmap call or discovery call with me, or clarity call, whatever you want to call it. And you can also get my book or donate to this ministry too. God bless you, and may God bless your marriage.